Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wonga. Please introduce everyone.
The pre-match Muti.
I thought
Yes.
I thought you were going to give it a little bit more of a mooty, but I suppose no stuttering because the Gunners aren't stuttering. That's 5 victories. Hey, Wonga.
Yeah. Oh, so good to be on top. It feels so good. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to go ahead of myself, but what you're doing now is definitely good. Definitely good. And you can see that
Yeah.
for what the other teams are doing.
Yeah, they're doing well. But before we get into that, just to give it a little overview of today's show, we're going to break it down into a couple of sections. We've got the Arsenal talk, the Liverpool talk, the Man City talk, Man United talk, and of course the Chelsea talk. And we'll discuss the games in between those sort of topics. And of course, we need to be looking and discussing the transfer deadline day because it's the day. It's the day where, Fabrizio makes his money. Is it what's his name there, Wonga? Fabrizio
Yeah,
Romane. Yeah.
Fabrizio.
He
Yes,
makes
that's
his money.
correct.
Here we go. So we're going to be discussing that too, and of course some general news. But to kick off, we're going to start off with the general news section and Scott Parker being sacked. Wonga Denga, what is your overall reaction when you heard the news that Mr. Bournemouth? Well, I suppose he had one season that he got them up, but the man got sacked. What did you think about this after the 9-0 thrashing to Liverpool?
Yeah, look, I think it could have been. I mean, if you're looking at it from or from just face value, it's madness. Yeah, common sense tells you that the guy he plays in Arsenal, he plays in Man City. Did he play? He played. Who did he play? Man City? Was it Liverpool? No, he played Liverpool, and then he played. They got
Yeah,
hammered
it
by
was.
Liverpool, and then
He
he
lost. So
and
that
then
he opened up the season with a 2-0 victory over Aston Villa. He then lost 4-0 to Man City, understandable, away from home.
yes.
He then loses at home to Arsenal 3-0. And I mean, as we can see, it shouldn't be surprising considering where Arsenal are at right now. And then, of
So
course, the 9-0 victory, or loss to Liverpool, rather.
yeah, and I think then now you're looking at the results, the teams that they've played, and the teams that they've lost to. those are those are teams that have been in the league year in year out. And I mean, Man City now is a giant in the league. Liverpool hitting 9, but I think and unfortunate for them, Liverpool had a point to prove. I think, and it's unfortunate that Bournemouth had to be there at that point in time. I think, but then again, I think. Scott Parker's comments after the match saying that the manager's not. I mean, he feels that he's not really being backed uh,
Mm.
by the owners, and I think then I think after that there was probably quite a big argument with them, and I think then
Yeah.
that second comes there probably even out of anger, out of from one party. But if you're looking from if someone is being rational, looking at the situation, looking at what Scott Parker has done before, what he's capable of, you don't sack him that quickly. It doesn't make sense. Can't lie to you. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
It also just makes you wonder what Eddie Howe was able to achieve at a club like Bournemouth with those restraints put in place. I think
Yeah.
Stevie P over there, he came out doing the thing and he was quite honest in his evaluation, obviously disagreeing with the board, and it's probably the comments over the results that got him sacked. When we're looking at it deeper.
Yes.
But when you're looking at his opposition around him, if you're the manager and you can see that Nottingham Forest make 19 signings and you're sitting there and you're desperate for at least one or two additions to the squad and you're not getting them, you are going to be a bit frustrated, especially after 9-0 sort of hiding. But before we continue here, we've got Pums in the house. We've got Sam saying the gents are late. Yes, the gents are late, and largely because we are doing our recon when we're looking at Settle. Settle's not here right now because he's trying to find out what's happening to transfer news. Someone said he's flown to Old Trafford. We don't know yet. We're going to find out soon enough. And we've got M Dog Guru in the house
But
saying
but
Newcastle game had him stressing. Yes, Wonga.
no, sorry, Sam. The only reason I was late was it's kind of difficult to come down the top of the table and be on everyone else's level. But
There we go,
but I
Wonga.
made it. I made it.
Now we know his reason. Is that a valid reason? The comments let us know. Then we got Aman joining us yet again. And then, of course, Pumalani saying undercooked team, not ready for the Premier League. And I think that's a fair assessment. If we're looking at all the teams right now, we've got to discuss which team is going to get relegated. We know for sure it's probably going to be Bournemouth. But can you predict the other two teams going down? I think it's a bit of a tricky situation to call right now. Wongo, who would your guesses be?
I have not actually looked at that one, Cloud, to be honest with you. But thinking now, on the top of my head, I think, especially what Bournemouth have done, and they're getting a manager, I think there could be one candidate. Another one. It's difficult to say.
Exactly, it
Nottingham
is
Forest
difficult
seem
to
to have
say.
made,
I mean,
Nottingham
how
Forest
can?
have made the signings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Nottingham go down. But now if Nottingham stays, someone else must go. So this is where I'm baffled with this with this question. I can't lie to you. I haven't thought about it properly, or let me say I haven't reached a conclusion with that.
Yeah. I don't think Wonga, personally, I don't think I'm brave enough yet to make a decision. I think there's so much that can happen when you consider the amount of money that's being spent or thrown around, rather. Everyone's got the potential to do something. I mean, when you're looking at Fulham, they've hit the ground running. You're looking at Leeds, I'm sure Darren will be happy. They're doing all right. So it's pretty tricky. And I mean, it could even be a big side that goes down. I mean, your West Ham is sitting 14th right now. Surely they shouldn't go down, especially considering the amount that they spent. But those are the names right now at the bottom. And Everton, based on where they're at, they could also be in the mix. And you're Aston Villa. So it's going to be a tricky situation. Steven Gerrard Wangadenga, I think let's talk about him right now. He has, won one game. He's lost the 4 others. Would you be seeing Scotty Parker just being sacked? Would you be putting his job under consideration, or really reviewing it with a microscope and saying, listen, he's in danger here?
Yeah, look, I think in terms of where I know for a fact, in terms of Steven, where Steven Gerrard came from in what he did in Scotland, coming into Aston Villa, I remember the comments he made as well. They definitely are not where they would want to be. I think he's probably aiming mid-table, if possible. I think he's probably even trying to get into. He would like to get into Europe. When? I'm not too sure, but definitely if they're playing the way that they're playing at the moment, I mean, getting the results that they're getting at the moment, they continue this. It's not ideal for them. But I'm still. I mean, I watched Aston Villa against Arsenal, and I can't remember which other game I watched Aston Villa. But yeah, look, I'm looking at Ollie Watkins, still looking alive, still looking dangerous there. Coutinho maybe also not doing as well as you'd expect from him. But I think, yeah, definitely Steven Gerrard. I don't think his job would be under much scrutiny now, but definitely I think they would say that he's underperforming. Definitely underperforming. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, he is underperforming, and I'm sure we got someone. He's in the back room, and he's going to share his thoughts now. Sam saying, "Oh, I bet Claudio, you want to keep Everton as your punching bag," and you're not wrong. I mean, that game is coming up. I don't know what's happened to our backroom staff. Oh, he's ready. He's ready. Gentlemen, without further ado, let's please welcome. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to sort 1 or 2 things out. Who's the man? It is Selo Lolo Kale. Although it's not quite working out for him. Wonga, we might as well keep going here. Yeah, so overall, it's not working for him. Let's see how. I mean, Man United had a mixed start, so it's pretty much like Celo's entrance over here. I'm just going to flog him quickly. Let's go back to where we were at. Okay, yeah. So we got 1 or 2 things here again. Celo Maguire, Pum's getting excited, but it was a false return. Almost like Celo Maguire, or should I say Harry Maguire, making the starting lineup. It seems this way that we've got Ronaldo Wonga. Seems like he's going to stay with Man United.
Yeah, I guess he has no choice, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think maybe some clubs are seeing. I don't know if they're seeing it as they maybe he's too much of a big player for their clubs, or they just don't. He doesn't fit what they want. I probably think that's probably the situation now. But yeah, I think he has obviously no choice. He tried everything. I don't know. I would like to know. I mean, why the stuff didn't work out, especially him going back to Sporting. I would really like to know why that didn't work out, but I guess he's stuck there. I think definitely he would be still of use to. I mean, look, he wanted to play Champions League. I think I see Pomlani saying he's too expensive. I think he would have taken a cut to be in the Champions League if he wanted it that bad. I definitely think he would have taken a cut. The money is not a problem. He doesn't need any more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bringing money to wherever he goes. But yeah, I think Man United are happy to keep him. I think that's what they wanted anyway. I think that's what they wanted. But then remember that it's him that he was really pushing to go, and then they're like, okay, fine, they're willing to let him go. But now he's there, everyone's smiling. Well, the club is smiling, and I think he won't be a problem. I think he's going to give 100% and get his team through Europa. Are they in Europa? Yeah, in Europa.
They are in Europa. Let's try this again. Selo, are you available here? No, doesn't look like it. All right. Yes, they are in Europa, but Wonga, the Ronaldo factor in terms of what happens if he does stay and he's not getting the game time. And, they've already spoken about the fact that he causes a disturbance to the change room, to the culture, to the rest of it, even though your pros are saying, he's a shining example for the younger players to look up to. But if the morale is affected by one person throwing his hands in the air, do you think Ten Hag is going to be strong enough to manage it? I know he's benched the player. They are going to play a game tonight. Do you think he starts this game too?
I don't think he starts the game. Man United have got a winning formula now. I think then now he has to work his way back in, and that's what Ten Hag did say in the beginning of the season. I also don't think he's causing a disturbance in the team. I don't think he's causing a disturbance in the change room. I don't know where they're getting these. I don't know who's keeps on saying who's telling the media this, that is causing disturbance. Where is it coming from? Who specifically? Because you can't just say it. It's definitely a trail to be followed. But I don't think this man is causing a disturbance in the change room. He's a 30. What? He's 38. Could be 50 now. I never know. But he's he's a professional. Every manager has said this man is a professional player. You can see when he gets on the field, he's giving 100%. There is a strong desire in him to win, and I don't think he's going to be throwing and tossing his toys. That's really immature. I mean, I think it just suits the this the narrative. The big star in the team. He's and now he's the one disrupting. I don't think that's the case. I really don't think that's the case. He may be challenging people only to get, because he knows what it takes to win these titles. He's won it all. Except for the World Cup, And so I think people are just. I think yes, he's definitely challenging people. Maybe people aren't happy with him challenging them, but in terms of disrupting the change room like a child, no ways. There's no ways. I don't think. That's.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of putting it, Wonga. I also think they want to keep him at the club because every time he tweets about training, he's getting them the exposure they need, and it's contributing to their back pocket. So they're happy with that result. But we're going to move over to pretty much the comments that Sam's making here, saying Arsenal looks a complete side. Maybe defensively they can improve, and these comments are pretty rare, but it is this time, Wonga. It is the Arsenal talk. You've come in, you're smiling yet again. We're super excited to have you, and you're excited to be here because your team is buzzing. But what do you want to chat to us about in terms of what is working right now? First game, they beat Fulham 2-1. Second game, they beat Villa 2-1. Again, to Sam's point, conceding 2 goals in 2 games, but still getting the victories.
Yeah, look, I think Arsenal, my team. The first game was worrying, the way in which we conceded the goal as a lapse of concentration. But what is positive is that I think then that gave Arsenal an opportunity to show how serious they were about challenging this year, especially for a Champions League spot. And you could see when that goal went in. I mean, Gabriel was broken. I mean, like any other player would do. But what happens then is the response, And even the commentator, the first thing he said is, he's pretty sure that Gabriel is waiting to get a corner. He can't wait to get a corner so that he can, get one back for the team. And funny enough, he's the one that goes and scores the winning goal. I must say, I don't know if anyone watched the game. And I'm not. I mean, you can be an Arsenal hater or whatever, but you can't hate on the way Odegaard has been playing of late. I've asked myself, and I never saw it, but I heard the time Odegaard was signed by Madrid when he was 16 years old. They gave him quite a quite a big salary. He was already in the first team at that time, before they sent him out on loan. But my goodness me, I think I saw the reason why for the first time. Yes, he was playing well for us last season, but I thought, okay, look, it wasn't that much to be hyped about. But what he did this week, I think it was the one first against Fulham. He was on fire. He was literally untouchable. Everything. He knew exactly what to do with the ball before he got the ball. The passes he was playing. Even the manner in which he took the first goal. Doing a nice scissor there, and then hitting it into the back of the net. Yes, it took a deflection, but the stuff he was doing before that, it was incredible. And yes, Martinelli as well. Martinelli, I think you guys have heard me as well. Probably the only player I was praising last year in terms of his work rate, and it looks like now the rest of the team is behind on that. Martinelli doesn't give up. He's on everyone. 24/7. He's pressing. He's trying to get the ball. He's always looking to score, and that's what I've always liked about him. And funny enough, I was praising Lukonga last season. And when I watched him play now against, I'm forgetting his name, against Aston Villa, goodness me, I I felt like I wanted to get on the field and shake him and say, "Wake the hell up!" I don't know if he smoked a spliff of weed before then, but gee whiz, like he's the only player that it couldn't see that. Hey, my man, we trying to win here. Rather make it 4. Gets the ball, chillas, turns, takes 3 steps, then he passes the ball slowly even. Oh my goodness me. I don't have any problems with the guy moving slowly, but let's try and move quickly. Like, goodness me, I would have put Lukonga on if we're winning 4-0. Then you slow things down, everyone's chillas. But geez, putting that guy starting and then trying to win a trying to get everyone to play quickly. Oh, he's too chilled. I can't lie to you. A pass he's supposed to put on the floor, he just chips it because he's bored, so he just chips the ball. Oh goodness me, I almost died watching him play. But hopefully Arteta sorts that out. I get the fact that he's a chilled guy, but there needs to be for me the sense of urgency was a bit not there with him.
Wonga, let's pull it back or rein it back in here. We've got Pumalani saying Wonga rants. I think this is what happens with Arsenal, Pums. When Arsenal on a sort of peak, they don't know what to do, so they're going to look for the faults. But Sam also coming in saying Martinelli has stepped up, to your point, and then saying, but Saka not looking so good. And is it that he's not looking so good, or it's just the final product that's missing? He's still looking good.
Yeah, look, I think it's still looking good. Still looking good. Obviously, the final product is not there, but then again, also the other players in the team are stepping up, and I think that's I think Sam, that's good. On when I look at it, I think it's a good thing that Saka's not looking 100%, and I think it's really because everyone else in the team has stepped up a gear. Our defense is solid. Saliba and Gabriel, I think White will fall out after Tomiyasu fixes his injury. Leno, he wasn't good enough. Put the ball behind him. But Leno's always been I've always liked him as a keeper. I think he was pretty decent. I don't know what he was complaining about with that goal. But yeah, he got it in. And speaking of that, Aston Villa's goal. So if that Aston Villa goal stands, and the other teams take use of it, do you understand what they're going to be doing now? They're going to just put a player in front of the keeper now, and they're going to make sure he just stands there. Mitrovic could do that to any keeper. Just literally stand in front of him and put his hands out behind him. But if they say that's fair, then yeah, I can't wait to see that happen again. And they mustn't call it. They must not call it. I'm not too sure if you saw it, Claudio, but they must not call that a foul. Who was it? I can't remember which Aston Villa player it was, but he was standing in front of our keeper. And then he basically blocked him off from getting to the ball. And then he put his hands out behind him so that the keeper was like basically in behind him and he couldn't move. And he kept him there. So yeah, if that stands, yeah, I'm cool. Okay, we won the game, sure. I'm cool. They must just keep that with consistency because it's going to happen again.
You do know
Plenty
that's
of
not going
times,
to be
especially if that
consistent.
happened there.
That's the draw card of the Premier League and the refereeing is if they are consistent, we've got nothing to talk about on shows on Thursdays. Yeah, Wonga Denga. But overall, Arsenal talk, you know, you're happy, top of the log, doing well, 13 points. The others are playing catch up. But let's talk to the guys who are hot on your heels and, you know, the
Woo!
team that is doing all the business. Man City. I mean, putting a massive result in this game after being down and come back 4-2, Wonga.
Yeah, look. Haaland captain! Anyways, before look, I think Crystal Palace does well to go 2-0 up here, and I think that game would have been. I thought the game was done for them. Watching it, and then they go and they lose the lead. I mean, yeah, Man City were relentless after that. I mean, after that halftime talk, and yeah, they did well. I mean, it wasn't the first time. It was the third time. The first time was end of the season last year. And that was 3-0 down. They come back with 3 goals. Then no, I think it was 2 goals, and they came back. No, I can't remember now. I think it was 2, and they came back with 3 goals. Then now they come into the league. They go down against Newcastle, 3 goals. Newcastle did fairly well as well to get the 3 goals. And now Man City step it up again directly after the half time, and they do the same thing now. That's not an easy thing, you know. Most teams, that happens. You get that once in a while you go down, and this is the match you guys can come up. But Man City are consistent with this, which for me shows a true desire to take it again. This league title again. And unfortunate for, I don't go too much on it, but Crystal Palace, you heard Wilfried Zaha now when they dropped the lead. When they dropped their lead this weekend, I think they were up 1-0, and they decided, Wilfried Zaha was frustrated that they decided to not put in another goal. And yeah, Patrick Vieira now must be kicking himself. That's 2. I mean, they could have had one with Man City. That would have been priceless, And now they've dropped it again for the next match. So on their side, not looking too good for Patrick, but because they're playing well and they're just not getting results. But Man City, 4, then 6 the next game. Now they've made sure they're not conceding. Nottingham Forest got welcomed properly now into the league. Now they've been welcomed into the Premier League.
yes. The Wonga Denga, when you're looking at it, I mean, we've got to talk about this man. Some of the comments have already thrown his name out. Haaland hat-trick. It's 9 goals in 5 games. I think when you're looking at it, I think the most hat-tricks scored across the Premier League season is 5. He's already got 2 of them. I mean, realistically, when we're looking at what this guy can achieve, how many goals do you think he's going to end up with this season?
I think we're playing, if you're looking at so how many games are you playing with it? I would say at least 30. I would say at least 30.
30. He's already 9 for 5. You think he's only going to end on 30?
Look, no, I'm talking about not the season. Probably more, probably with 40 to probably hit 40. But I'm just talking about the Premier League, and I'm just saying that to be safe. To be honest with you, they're playing 38 games, and I'm going to say 8 off. But definitely he can, and he did it the season before, and the season before that he scored more than a goal a game. And this is what is special about him. And you must keep in mind that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, as great, and those guys have been at their ages of phenomenal players, especially Lionel Messi, who had the capability of dribbling from the halfway line, having Xavi and Iniesta playing behind you. They didn't do this. Barcelona winning 6-0, 4-0, 5-0. Messi,
his stats
did not
right
do this.
Now overshadow theirs in terms of just the goal scoring ratio, but I think that's what he offers as a footballer.
Yes.
He is a goal scoring machine. He is geared up solely for that. I think it's also rare that you find a player whose mentality is as aligned, and his mentality is very matured in a sense in terms of what he knows he's capable of doing. For example, you got peak Ronaldo believing what he can do. Haaland is right now peak Haaland in his mind in front of goals. And I know what I mean by that is I know he's still missing chances but he sticks them as soon as he's in front of the goal. He's not afraid to shoot. And I think that's the thing. He's got the confidence there that he knows he's able to bury it and he takes his chances. And that's the difference here. And that's the scary part. I don't see this man stopping anytime soon. And it also makes me wonder, dare we talk about Man City and the association with the Champions League? Can they go one step further and actually win it this season just because of Haaland? Let's forget about the fact they've got another young striker that no one's even talking about, the Julian Alvarez. He's also not a bad footballer in his own right, but they got this player.
Yeah.
Will they be able to get the Champions League with him there?
Look, the team that they have a right to shout for. I mean, look at the teams that have won it before, or have gotten close to winning it. Man City definitely don't have an excuse to at least get into the semis again. And then from the semis, it's, you know how it is in a semi-final of Champions League. You've got to have the right plan on the day. So it's a lot more than just your team, but definitely just the team alone, Man City, they should get to a semi-final, I think. And Haaland could be that player, like you say. But if he's scoring goals, could take them there. I agree with that.
And I do.
Haaland in the as well. I think last year he had more than a goal per game before he got knocked out.
Yeah, and I do think from a Pep Guardiola situation in terms of, you're still here, Wonga. From a Pep Guardiola perspective, we've got to look at him knowing the fact that, look, the likelihood of them competing on all fronts is going to be quite high. He's got players, so he will rotate them. And again, I think Sam makes a valid point when we're looking at the types of injuries, and we know Haaland's got a bit of an injury record, so it's just how he's going to use him, but save him for the big games, and that's going to be key. Let's see if the man that we've been waiting for has gotten his return flight from Old Trafford. Let's see. Oh, yes, looks like he's in the house. Where's in the house? Celo Maguire, welcome, sir.
Hey, how's it, guys? How you guys doing?
He is struggling.
I'm good, man. I don't know about anyone else. I'm easy, man. I can hear you.
How's it, guys? Hey, guys, I don't know.
Celo struggling. We can't even hear him now. Anyway, we're just going to keep him there just for his face, because some people think he's got a pretty face. Looks like Timothy Chattel. I don't know if anyone watched that, but he's a Timothy Chattel man. Yeah, so Wonga Denga, just to round off then, we're going to move over to the Lion Talk. And the Lion Talk being the Chelsea's. Chelsea all over the place. We know Todd Boehly is busy playing Football Manager. I genuinely believe that's how he's prepared for this Chelsea role in the takeover bid. He felt like he had the money. He played enough Football Manager. He's going to be able to then come in there and do the business. I mean, he's just signed Wesley Fofana for £75 million. Before we kick off on the results, £75 million, is that a good deal for Fofana, Wonga Denga?
Yeah, for Fofana himself and his family, that's a goddamn good deal. Jump and take it. But gee whiz, what the heck? And they just put up. The Aubameyang didn't put. I'm not sure if there's a fee involved there because they gave Marcos Alonso that other way. Geez, I didn't know that actually went through, Claudio. To be honest with you, I'm hearing it now. Come on, 75 million. Are we talking pounds here? Goodness me. No.
Moving aside from the fact, let's ignore the fact. Okay, so you clearly don't think he's worth £75 million, but it's to the point. I think Todd Boehly is playing Football Manager. But let's look at the results. I mean, they beat Leicester City, which they should do because Leicester City are all over the place right now. And so 2-1 victory. But then they go away and they lose to Southampton 2-1-2. I mean, overall, when we're looking at Chelsea and you're looking at Thomas Tuchel, do we somewhat worry about the fact that the man doesn't have a solid grip on the side right now? Or do you think he's losing his touch? Do you think he's lost the squad? Or is there just too much happening around him in order to get the results that he needs to get?
Yeah, you remember I was saying, look at when Lampard got fired. He was doing very well. In the Champions League, he took his team to the Champions League. And no, not to the Champions League. He took them to was it the final? He took them to the final. Am I correct? Well, but he took them far in the Champions League. He did very well in the Champions League. Lampard. And then Tuchel came in and completed everything. Lampard was going on a on a losing streak. You know, there were wins and losses and losses. And look, for me, it's not different to what Tuchel has done in these first couple of matches. I can't lie to you. The team's not looking 100%. They're losing to Southampton when they should have won. They should have won that game. And Tuchel goes and he says that, look, I mean, he's gone out. Lampard was getting criticized for. I remember and people also disagree with me, like Lampard saying that if Lampard shouldn't go out and say that no, these players are doing wrong. I remember we had a bit of an argument there, like, you know, how are you going to manage it? But Tuchel after the game and said no, he literally said that he doesn't say it directly, but he blamed the players. He said it was too soft. You know, there was no desire in them defending, and what he was not wrong in what he was saying is that, you know, they need to, if you're going to defend, there needs to be a desire for. There needs to be a desire or a will not to concede. You know, that's what Tuchel was saying. And you know, Lampard. This what I'm trying to look at the two situations. You know, the only difference I see with the way Lampard was struggling at the end of the season and the way Tuchel is struggling now is he's Tuchel and Lampard is Lampard. You know, with what the history that they had before. And Lampard, to be fair, was doing well.
Experience, Wonga.
Wonga. That's
the difference.
But listen.
But Wonga, I think as well, guys, we need to give leeway for managers that have a bit of credit in the bank. If we look at Frank Lampard's stats at Everton, they show a very grim picture, man. 9 wins in 27 games. That's 33.3% win average. That's shocking. That's shocking. Everton. That's just better than his friend Lampard, Gerrard. Gerrard's got 33% as well. You know what I mean? But obviously more games. But carry on with Tuchel.
Yeah, but I just feel that if you're gonna compare the two situations, I think there needs to be I think it's a serious situation at Chelsea. You can't look at it lightly, even though it's just 2 losses. I think it is a serious situation there. They need to turn it around. But that's their problems to deal with. I'm happy they have that problem. I hope it continues for all I care.
All right, Cyril. I mean, thank you for joining us. I know you've been busy trying to chase down all the transfers there for United and all the things that are happening.
Oh, man. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Listen, guys. You know, I don't own anything on my own. So I'm using a laptop from 2010 that I had to dig up from some dark, deep web type of thing. But yeah, I'm obviously happy to be here tonight, and I saw that you guys.
Deep web. Is this the same place? Is this where Man United are making their signings as well in the deep web? Is this how they're getting the deals across the line? Maybe that's why it's not working for Frankie de Jong.
It's not where we make our signings, but you know, it's actually very interesting when we talk about Man United. There's this social media page I follow. It's called any Man United fan that is on Twitter. Please go and follow this page. It's called United Arena. So it's UTDARENA, United Arena. And this is a person who talks about analytics and formations and all these things. And this guy spoke about Anthony in 2019, right? He speaks about Anthony in 2019 when he was still at Sao Paulo as a 19-year-old turning 20. So he speaks about Anthony and says, you know, Anthony's a very good player. He's going to be, obviously, he's destined to go to Europe soon. And guess what? We signed Anthony 2 years later after this guy made the scout report. You know, it's so typical of Man United where a fan has actually seen the player and identified the player as actually about to take the next step to Europe. But then, you know, Man United scouts actually probably want a proven footballer. Same guy speaks about Lisandro Martinez as well in 2019 and says that Ajax has just signed Lisandro Martinez. He's the best center back in Argentina at the moment. Makes a story about him. Same player. No, same page, but talking about a different player. And I'm like, guys, like these guys that are in the scouting department get paid to scout players, right? But there's this guy on Twitter who actually identifies these players 2 years in advance. Like I saw the tweets, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And he's made similar stuff about other players and everything like that, and said like he's spoken about Bruno Guimaraes, for instance, right? at Newcastle. He spoke about him a year ago and say this guy's a very good player. He would add a lot to a team in the Premier League. You know, a top 6 side would do well to sign him. So Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, you know, Arsenal would do well to sign him.
Quick question though, if you had to ask him now, like Pums is saying, 100 million for Anthony, is that not overpriced? If you had to ask the same gentleman who scouted him 2 years ago, so yeah, it is.
It is, but the problem is identifying a player at the right time to pay the actual value. So I think, right, Anthony, right, as a player, I think Anthony is worth max 40 million pounds, which is like 50 million euros, right? So we've paid double, basically. We've paid double, right? I think Anthony is worth that much because he's from the Eredivisie, right? And he's not he wasn't player of the season for Ajax. He wasn't player of the season in the league. So player of the season for Ajax was Martinez, the centre back, and the player of the season in the Eredivisie was Cody Gakpo, the guy who's at PSV who Leeds want, and who also linked with. So these are the 2 players where you can say, okay, cool, they were the best players and everything like that. But I don't think that Anthony is worth 100 million euros. He's now the most expensive player to leave the Eredivisie, eclipsing Frankie de Jong's 80 million euro move to Barcelona. And I don't think that he's in the same caliber of de Jong. But guys, we talk about the Premier League, the brand, the Premier League, guys. Wesley Fofana, 80 million euros. Lucas Paqueta, Alexander Isak, 64 million euros. You know what I mean? These are players, guys. If you actually look at the actual real value, their value is actually not that worth that much. But when you sell into the Premier League, guys, you have to put up the 20% premium, guys, 30%, 40%. You can actually take it up to a 40%, 50% premium. Claudio, you know what I'm talking about, right? The Premier League premium, you know it, right? You know.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at Pums' comment here, though, Selo. Pums is saying Edwin is taking United to the cleaners, just showing his true allegiance is to Ajax.
He's made 167 million euros from Man United in this window. Great business for him as a club.
Yeah.
But guys, the Premier League's net spend is 1.3 billion euros, sorry, as opposed to the second highest net spend, which is La Liga at 55 million euros, guys. 55 compared to 1.3 billion euros net spend.
But it's that hype. It's that hype that gets people coming back to watch the show and watch the games, watch the show. It creates the show, so to speak. But the question I've got here for Mr. Anthony is we've seen these players come in with heavy price tags. And I know just coming with a heavy price tag anywhere is quite a daunting task. But coming to Man United, especially in the current climate, Selo, do you think this man has what it takes to hit the ground running? I mean, the jury's still out from a Liverpool big money signing in terms of Darwin Núñez, but do you think Anthony can do it? One guy just saying no.
So Claudio, Eredivisie players, let's be honest, guys. Eredivisie players in the last 3 to 5 years haven't really done well in the Premier League from Eredivisie. So Eredivisie to Premier League, they haven't really shot the lights out. Those guys who've moved for, let's say, more than 30 million pounds, right? So so I talk about your Memphis Depay's, your Donny van der Beeks, who else come from Eredivisie. So all those guys come from Eredivisie directly from Eredivisie to Premier League for big money. Haven't really shot the lights out. Those who have done well have probably come for smaller fees, maybe go to a smaller club and then go to a bigger club. They've made the money. They've done well, you know. And then Man United have never had an amazing, like world-class Brazilian. We've never had a world-class Brazilian. We've had a good Brazilians. Anderson did well, good, not world-class, good. Rafael, good, not world-class. So you see those 2 factors, I'm like, doesn't seem good for Anthony. But there has to be one that has to turn out well, right? So let's hope it's Anthony, man. But let's hope
not. But yeah, sure.
But listen, guys, we can't blame the player for the price tag. The price tag is what's set by the club that we buy him from. Like, you know, you look at in the past, a lot of clubs have spent a lot of money for different types of players. You know, You've had Man City paying 60 million euros for De Bruyne, saying and people in the Premier League saying that's a lot of money for paying for a Chelsea reject, essentially. But he's obviously blown the lights out and obviously been value for money. I'm not saying Anthony's going to be like De Bruyne, but I'm saying that it has happened in the past where clubs have seemed to pay over the price for someone who comes from a different league or a so-called lesser league or lesser club. But let's see. The jury's still out, guys. But I'm hoping for the best. I think it's something that we do require as Man United. A left-sided right forward. Let's see what he adds to the team. Obviously, there's been some jokes about his signature trick that he likes to do when he tills around the ball, like almost like a Scaran Gobesa type of around the wall type of thing. If he hits that move in a game, I'm gonna say Scaran Gobesa is alive and well, kicking in Manchester United.
Right, so but overall, when you're looking at it, I mean, they've come now 2 back-to-back victories. They beat Liverpool, they beat Southampton over the weekend by 1 goal. Tonight they're taking on Leicester City, a struggling Leicester City. Technically, they should be favourites to win it. Does he start Ronaldo? Does he stick with the same team? Where's your head at for tonight's game?
No, I think for tonight's game, I think it's important to also keep Ronaldo happy as well. I think that's also good for the team. It's obviously a balancing act. The transfer window closes at midnight. So I think for a game like this, you need to maybe start Ronaldo, depending on how he wants to set up, because we need to keep Ronaldo happy, right? You keep Ronaldo happy. He obviously also has an influence on the Mediterranean players. The boys from Portugal or the Portuguese-speaking boys. He has the influence of Dalot. Dalot obviously looks up to him. Bruno Fernandes, or Bruno Fernandes. Fred, and Anthony as well, who's Brazilian, obviously. Casemiro as well. So he's obviously got a big influence on these type of players and also players who look up to him. So I feel this game, let's start Ronaldo, right? I think in a game where we're playing Leicester, who's not doing well, who their owners obviously have been hit by the pandemic because they're a beer company. The owners of Leicester are a beer company in I think it's Thailand or Southeast Asia, yeah. Singapore beer. They've obviously been hit, so that's why they don't have that many funds to invest into Leicester. So I think we should definitely start with Ronaldo just to give him some confidence. And if he does well in this game, we can start him again against Arsenal on the weekend. But we need to keep Ronaldo on happier terms because he is obviously a big influence into the dressing room.
Right, so yeah, on that note, quick fire results.
Yeah, man, let's go. 2-0. I'm gonna go for 2-0 tonight.
2-0. Wongadinga?
1-1.
1-1. Silo thinks Wonga. Silo. I mean, Wonga thinks Leicester's going to come in and upset the odds. It's going to be a tricky one.
Can I? If you've already been through it, can I just do a prediction for Sunday? Man United 2-1 against Arsenal. Thanks.
Jumping the gun there, Silo. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but we might as well do it. Right.
Oh, sorry, I'm ahead. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead of time. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
sorry, guys. Because I'm late. I'm ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, we might as well talk about it. Big game there. I mean, Arsenal versus Man United. We're looking at that there. Will Man United be able to stop Arsenal's winning streak? Yeah, Wongadinga.
Look, I mean, Silo will have to admit it. It's going to take quite a lot to beat Arsenal. Arsenal at the moment, look, I think Arsenal at the moment are a team looking hungry. It's been a while since I've seen Arsenal like this. I think Man United will struggle to get a result.
Wonga, last night you beat the depleted Steven Gerrard's army. Listen, guys, Gerrard has, guys, I was looking up the stats, guys. I prepared for this show so much, right? It's just, guys, I'm unemployed for 2 days, so I just had to, just like enjoy my time as an unemployed person. But guys, Steven Gerrard, guys, I've got the stats here. I listened to this, guys. Steven Gerrard has only won 12 out of 34.
This man is unemployed, Wongadinga, and he was late for the show. What the heck's going on here? Don't know what's going on there. Anyway, let's hear those stats.
Hey guys, you still need to keep the people happy at home that make you smile when you are not on Goal Lounge. 12 out of 34, and he's lost 17 out of the 34. He's lost 50% of his games. That was a showcase win for Arsenal. Arsenal has only played Bournemouth, Leicester, Aston Villa. Who else, Claudia? Small teams, small teams. No top six teams, right? No top six sides.
Hey,
And
but
they
still,
have
they're
a
getting
big
the
one.
results there, and it's the victories that are building the confidence.
Man
And that's
United got
gonna be
lost
the
to
trick.
Brentford. Man United lost to guys.
I beat Liverpool. When was the last time you beat Liverpool? Tell me, when was the last time you beat Liverpool?
I can argue Liverpool. We can argue. Ask God. We can argue that Liverpool were depleted. We can argue Liverpool were depleted.
Wonga. You made a prediction on the show that Liverpool will beat Man United. You said Liverpool will beat Man United. You said Liverpool will beat Man United at Old Trafford. I was not here last week. I was watching your show with Claudia. You guys were gobsmacked. Listen, Man United delivered the W. We delivered the W.
But wait. Let's Pum saying remember the 8-2 Wonga. Remember the 8-2. Let's just take the reins back here.
But Claudio, in football, guys, man. In football, let's be honest, guys, man. Champions League final 20. Claudio, the one you went to is it Metropolitano? Okay, so the one that Salah got injured, man. Yeah. Do we look back and say that Real Madrid won because Salah got injured? No, we said Real Madrid won. They I think it was 13th Champions League. We don't say because Salah got injured. We don't say depleted in history, Wonga. You only say
but that's the same thing now with that's the same thing with Aston Villa. We beat them.
Time out, gents. Yeah, listen up. So the question is, I think this is where we've got to see how it plays out, is Arsenal looking comfortable on the ball. I think Man United do better on the counter-attack. So if the game takes that sort of shape, then there's a big possibility Man United can upset the odds. It's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal cope with that. But we've got, obviously, Sam saying United, Arsenal 2-2. He's going with the draw. Pumalani saying 2-1 to United. And then Sam saying Brentford beat Arsenal last season too. So let's not forget that. Right, gentlemen, we're going to move on.
Exactly, bruh. Wonga, there's no therefore in football. You know, there is no there.
Yeah, but you're saying that we got beaten by an Aston Villa like they were nothing. You guys, and we never beat the top six. There's Brentford, they beat you guys also.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I was saying we cannot count your win against Villa. You know why? Villa is managed by guys like I'm so angry. I'm so angry, guys, that I joined it so late, man, because I had ammunition for Steven Gerrard, man. I had like a whole archive of Steven Gerrard and asking questions about Steven Gerrard for Claudio, man. Because, guys, we need to ask serious questions about Steven Gerrard, guys, as a manager, because he's giving us 33% win rates again when he's been given funds to invest.
Yeah, he has been given funds and he is underperforming. Yep. So I mean, we did ask the question.
It's not like what's this guy, Bournemouth former manager Parker. I feel bad for him because he was not given funds. But Stevie Gerrard's been given. Okay, sharp. That guy from Sevilla that they signed, Diego Carlos got injured. Sharp, cool, no problem. Cool. He lost Chiquenze to Chelsea, but still, man. Nah, but hey. Let's talk about Liverpool and the guy who's got anger management issues, Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, the man who's currently on suspension. He clearly has something he needs to curb there. But I mean, the fire is there and it's alive and kicking, and he's got on the bench, which is fantastic. But yes, they lose to Man United. They come back. They obviously do what they do to Bournemouth, the 9-0 victory, and then they do what they did last night with regards to the 2-1 victory late, sort of snatch there. And when we're looking at Liverpool right now, we know there's a lot of talk about the midfield, and we're going to talk about the transfer deadline. When we're looking at the player they're bringing in Arta Melo there from Juventus, formerly a Barcelona player, we do know, and we've known, the club have known that the midfield is where they are lacking. When you're looking at the sort of strength of the squad in terms of where they're having issues, and I think Henderson being injured yet again has just forced this sort of transfer, and it is a loan deal. It's a bit of a, plug the hole with a stopper here for a second and let's see how he does. There is no sort of offer on the table to buy officially, so it is just a loan signing, and that's where they're at right now. And I mean, it's quite telling when your two best players are the two youngest in the team that are getting a run in terms of Fabio Carvalho and Harvey Elliott. So not doing too badly there. I don't think we need to get too upset because, I mean, they did want to sign a player. He just chose Real Madrid. and we're looking at the next player we need to get to is Jude Bellingham. The issue is, does he go to Liverpool next season, gentlemen? Does he make that signing, or does he go to Real Madrid?
Real Madrid.
That man's a feisty. I see him going to Real Madrid. He'll take the biggest, and I think he could cope even. Yes, what a player that guy is. He must go to Madrid.
Yeah.
Write his name in history.
I mean, that's the worry, yeah, right? And I think this is where they're looking at the Liverpool midfield, and he's saying this is the problem, is that a lot of our players are over the age of 30. They normally make signings in advance where they're able to secure and they're able to like bed them in with regards to the rest of the squad, and then you got a player and then you move them up. But when I'm looking at a Melo and I'm comparing him to Gini Van Hulden, there's no difference for me. And I actually think the one's a lot more durable than Gini Van Hulden when we lost that player on a free. So that's where we're going. There have been certain mistakes made. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out with having Darwin back. But right now, Liverpool, all right, they're still in the mix. I'm not too disappointed. I mean, we're looking at the sort of performances of other signings like your Mr. Luis Diaz. I mean, he has an interesting stat. Since his first appearance at Anfield in February, no Liverpool players has more home Premier League goals than Luis, 6 out of 10 games. Look, there's nothing like Haaland right now, but he's performing. And so that's a good place to be if you're a Liverpool fan and if you're a Liverpool club. I know everyone's freaking out about the transfer deadline day, but now, look, you can land up with a loan signing just to make people happy, and they're still not going to be happy about it.
No, Claude, it's a much needed signing for you guys. I think it's an interesting one, but because obviously Liverpool plans these things, and we know how much of a things they have these signings in order before the season starts and identify certain players. But there's a Twitter page that I follow, right? It's called Premier League Panel. Very very insightful. It gives views about every single club in the Premier League. That page has highlighted the right side of midfield for Liverpool for the last season. He said that's why you guys didn't win the title. He says the right side of midfield is where you lack, because on the left side it's Keita or Thiago. So Keita and Thiago cover left side of midfield, and then holding is Fabinho. We all know that. But right side, that's where like Jordan Henderson is, right?
Yeah.
But that's where Harvey Elliott got injured, right?
Yep.
Right? That's where Harvey Elliott got injured, right? This guy had suggested that it was quite different. He had suggested that Liverpool could sign a player like Rafinha in actually that role, right? Who's actually a winger. But he says the way Liverpool play, Rafinha would actually do well in that right side of midfield role because he has, the formula for that role. So you guys lack in that right side of midfield, and he felt that that's where you guys lack the most. And we've seen it, guys. Let's be honest. Jordan Henderson is not the player, guys. Let's be honest.
Look, Jordan Henderson's there for intensity, and he really drives home with what Klopp wants the team to do, and that's from the engine perspective and getting the press going. That's where he does really well. But when it comes from a creativity perspective and comes from creating, that's not how Liverpool have been set up to do. And you are right from that perspective. We've got Pumalani saying, pay the money, stop looking for bargains, Liverpool. And he has an interesting fact. I know a lot of Man United fans complain about the owners and. But here from the Swiss Ramble, I mean, a lot of you know the Swiss Ramble. If you don't follow them, they give a lot of stats.
Yeah.
But they said zero owner funding for LFC in the last 5 years. In fact, Liverpool were the only one of Big Six to make a repayment of owner loans, which was £37 million, and also the only club to increase the balance in its bank account. Took out £72 million bank loan, high capital and expenditure at 132. Look, the owners of Liverpool they don't take money out of the club, but they don't pour it in. Their whole goal was to make it sustainable, and it is sustainable, so they aren't spending over the odds. I think the comment was asked last week, is a Jurgen Klopp frustrated with the scenario? 100%. There's no doubt in his recent comments over the last 24 hours, or 48 hours rather. He has communicated that in a nice way. But it is going to be interesting to see. Wonga Denga, Sam asking the question, is Luis going to fill Mane's shoes?
No, I think I don't think he'll fill them. But I mean, look, the Luis Diaz definitely does offer something there for Liverpool. Yes, Sadio Mane, I don't think he's replaceable for Liverpool, to be honest with you. What a player that guy is. I mean, he's even showing now going to the Bundesliga and punishing. We can argue Farmers League, but look, Haaland was doing that there, and he's doing the same this side. So, I think Luis Diaz, wouldn't want to put that pressure on him, to be honest, as well. I think, but he is definitely offering his own I think for Liverpool. I hate to admit it, but yeah, he looks dangerous on that field every time he's there.
I think that's also fair assessment. Goalloungetv, he's definitely not going to fill Mane's shoes because Mane is a one-of-a-kind sort of character, and you know how much I think he means to the club. But in Bayern, he's doing the thing. Gentlemen, it is that time. It's transfer deadline day. Any moves that we need to be focused on, any moves you think can change the club's fortunes moving in before this window shuts? Selo? Celo's
My club
hiding
or
behind
just
Ten
the
Hag.
league?
Yeah, your club, especially. Yeah, your club. Oh, Premier League as well. Yeah, what to change the Premier League?
Sorry. I'm playing with technology here. Premier League or flip. No, you can't see me, guys, right? Can you see me?
Nope. Can see Ten Hag and who that?
Yeah, I mean, Wonga, we got Pum saying Aubameyang to Chelsea. So, what do we think about that? Do you think that's going to be a game-changing move for them? 'Cause they need some up front.
Yeah, I think for Chelsea that's that's good for them. I think they definitely need someone they need an outside striker. Sterling also stepping up. I think also doing well. But yeah, I think they need a real goal scorer, and I think Aubameyang can offer that to them. Just don't make him captain. We've been there, we've done that. Trust me when I say this. Piece of advice, Chelsea fans, to not make the man captain, and I think you'll be okay with that. I wouldn't, to be honest. Like I don't like the fact that he's going to Chelsea because I know what he can do with the players playing around him. Yeah, it'll be a problem.
Right, and then from an Arsenal perspective, Goalloungetv, Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa, is that a player you wouldn't mind having in there?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't mind having him in the squad there, Claudio. I think it does. It then also gives us options. You know, I've seen as Zinchenko comes in on the left back, and Tierney was doing well from what I saw. But now Zinchenko comes in, and I'll be honest with you, I think obviously he's looking better than you got a mosquito there. Obviously he's looking better than a Tierney, you know. But then there's options, you know. And on the right, you can see. I think we're looking at and I kept on telling you guys this, that Ben White is not looking. I'm not liking him there on the back, and I think it's a place you can get exposed if you're playing a very good team who's got a tricky winger on the left hand side, and maybe I think having a player like a proper right back like Luis, I think then you're offering a bit of depth into our team.
But you still have Cedric, don't you?
Huh?
You still have Cedric?
I beg your pardon?
He still has Pepe, but Pepe's being loaned out. Gents, we're gonna wrap up here.
No, Pepe's being loaned out. Yeah, Pepe's being loaned out.
Final thoughts on the show. Cedric, right?
Yeah.
Cedric is there.
The
so why do you need another red bank for Cedric?
No.
No, but it's okay.
No,
final thoughts. It's obviously great. It's obviously great to see Wanga happy and everything like that. You know, it helps because then on Sunday his smile will be gone.
Guys, Man United. My final thoughts: Man United is not going to have it easy against Arsenal. If Arsenal win, it's going to just be routine. To be honest with you, I think Man United are going to have to step up. If they want to beat what Arsenal's
Man United are going to have
now.
to step up. This is going to be an interesting battle. We're going to have a fantastic chat next week. Gentlemen, just want to say thank you very much for joining me this evening. For everyone who's joined us live, I want to say thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you next week. And remember how to stop the show. 3, 2, 1.
Stop it.